Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Tuesday, April 12, 2022. The Sun is in Aries today with Chiron, but no longer Mercury, and the waxing gibbous moon begins in Leo, making ingress to Virgo this morning. Our inner lives here are in transition from fixed fire to mutable earth as we plug away at the culmination of our short-term goals in time for the full moon in Libra this Saturday. Sun in Aries, moon in Virgo invites us at this time to disperse the funds and other resources we have held back, knowing we would need them to help achieve our aims. We also have an opportunity at this time to revise our plans for optimal culmination. Okay, I'm going to get right into the aspects, but first I will point out the handcrafted key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so if you desire a point of reference, it's right there. I have otherwise divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. The moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is your relationship with yourself, what it feels like for you to be in your body, heart, and mind, and in your home. The transits and aspects that the moon makes are all very brief, and they have a subtle impact on those things you think, feel, know, and intuit, but may or may not choose to express. The sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is the outward expression of yourself in the world, specifically in your work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun and the rest of the planet's movements on this side because they have a greater impact on that outward expression. And we begin on the moon side today. Central Standard Time, friends. First, I want to say Leo, Cancer, Virgo, and Pisces are most likely to notice the inner life vibes throughout the day today. At 3:16 in the morning, the moon is void of course as it goes in opposition to the planet Mars. This comes across as an inner resistance to the actions we are on course to make. We may feel conflicted in some way about the course we're committed to, possibly because it requires us to do something that feels uncomfortable, embarrassing, or outside the character we would like to project in the world. Once we've committed to a course, often it's going to take us outside of our comfort zone. It's okay to feel conflicted about that, but remember to consider all of the possibilities and find the balance in that situation. It's a 2-hour aspect. And then the void of course period is about 4 hours today. Between the hours of around 3 and 7 this morning. Sorry, I was doing some math. And at this time, we're given this ideal sort of timing, relatively uninfluenced by sign placement, to reflect on whatever discomfort is here and our reasons for it. And we can have an important conversation with ourselves about at this time about the occasional necessity for a little bit of hardship in the pursuit of our dreams, and also the importance of maintaining certain boundaries and limitations in the interest of safety. As always, there is a balance to be met, and it is through our intuitive and creative practices that we often come to some understanding about where to find it. So get into your intuitive creative practices at this time if you can. It's a kind of an early morning void of course. Then at 7:07 this morning, moon makes ingress to the sign Virgo. Moon in Virgo is likely to put us in a space of seeking to solve problems, mend fences, and in general be of help to those that we keep closest to our hearts. This transit lasts 2.5 days. At 3:55 this afternoon, moon goes trine to Mercury. This is ideal positive functioning right here between the inner life and the personal intellect. We can truly think in practical terms about how we are feeling, and we can come to express it in terms of what we need in order to feel supported. So it's really a good time to have a conversation with somebody that we know cares, to let them know what's going on in our heart, because our mind can really look into our heart and see very clearly what's going on there. Especially probably after we've had this nice void of course morning, right? And then at 12:27 in the morning, Wednesday morning, Moon goes in opposition to Venus. This is a time where we may feel lost or somewhat in need of something that we usually have no problem attracting. Efforts to grasp at an outside source may bring about some conflict. So consider this a self-care challenge and see what you can't conjure up for yourself in terms of that thing, that resource, or that attention that you require. On the sun side today, Sagittarius, Pisces, Leo, Aries, Capricorn, and Aquarius, we are all most likely to feel the impact over here today. At 9:42 in the morning, Jupiter goes conjunct to Neptune in the sign of Pisces. This is all happening over here in Pisces. This aspect will be with us for the next 2 weeks through the 25th of April. Jupiter represents the sky in Greek tradition, and Neptune, the water. Merge those two, and I guess you could say they're here to make it rain. Opportunities for growth and expanded creative capacity abound at this time. This aspect will be with us, like I said, for 2 weeks. So, don't be afraid to get your feet wet. Right? So yes, it's raining creative opportunities. Jupiter is about expansion and growth. So some of these opportunities are going to be opportunities to learn or to travel or to do business, that kind of thing. These things that sort of put us in touch with the broader world. And then Neptune is really more like how we're in touch with one another through emotion and intuition, and also how we're in touch with our sense of spirit. So that's connection and expansion at the same time. So all of these creative opportunities. I'm also going to say rain represents fertility. Okay, so this is also a really fertile period of time, and I want to point that out. And then at 7:14 this evening, the sun goes sextile to Saturn. So this is our outer life expression working together with our sense of security. Any connection we make, any action we make at this time that lends to our stability is likely to have a positive outcome. This aspect will be with us for about a week. And looking at it on the chart, it's interesting because Sun and Saturn, we've got like a section on the chart, and that Jupiter conjunct Neptune is sitting right there, and here's the Sun, and here's Saturn, and they're doing this sextile thing at the same time as this Jupiter-Neptune conjunct. So it's almost like they're creating a shield across across that rain, right? So looking at it, I see it being like an umbrella of tradition, of good habits, and of focus and activity that can help us keep our heads dry while we splash in these colorful puddles of our expanding dreams. This Thursday, I'm just going to look ahead for a moment. This Thursday, Mars is going to join Jupiter and Neptune in Pisces, bringing our personal drive and spark to bear on our sense of connection to spirit and that expanded creative capacity we're experiencing. This is going to be the time to express ourselves through actions, express through our actions what we can dream in our hearts and minds. Okay, so this is really going to be a time of active self-expression as we just have this expanded sense of what we can be, do, and have, and create. It's pretty exciting. In the ongoing column, Mercury sextile Mars and Mercury square Pluto are with us through tomorrow still. Taken together, we have seen our intellectual focus in transition and seeking the nourishment and security of fertile soil. Interesting that fertile soil comes up for our ideas and the things that we're trying to get started as it begins to rain creative capacity, right? Mercury moved into Taurus a couple of days ago. All of these fresh green ideas we have made are ready to take root, and they will require a rich place to thrive. So seek solid and well-resourced foundations for those things you're trying to grow. And today is day 2 of 1, I will say, for Sun trine Moon, which came into effect yesterday around 6 p.m. and generally lasts about 24 hours. Take advantage of this ideal alignment for your private and public lives to be highly effective in the pursuit of your goals. Thursday, like I said, Mars leaves Aquarius and moves into Pisces. This will bring our initiative more into alignment with this Jupiter and Neptune conjunction, encouraging us to pursue a more spiritual or intuitive path at a time when those energies are stronger than usual. And we'll see a full moon in Libra this Saturday. This will be the time to celebrate how far we've come on the journey so far, how we've grown, what we've gained. And the full moon in Libra with the sun in Aries is really a time to observe and appreciate concepts of duality, the balance of complementary opposites, how they kind of create and destroy one another in their constant interaction. Also on Sunday, we'll have 2 more Mercury aspects come in. So it's going to be our mental focus, in a cooperative vibration with our sense of receptivity, our connection to love and money, how we relate. And then also our thoughts, plans, and communications in a pressurized situation for change. So we're going to be under pressure to change our mind at that time. And then I just was looking a little bit more forward into the future, and I wanted to put this down here because it's my reminder. Guys, friends, all of these planets are direct right now. What does that mean? It means that they are all moving from our perspective along their normal, straightforward trajectory around the sun. And they always do that, but from our perspective, sometimes they appear to go retrograde. And when they go retrograde, that can just cause like opportunities for shifts and changes and surprises and transitions we didn't know were coming to pop up, right? So when everybody's going direct, like everything is just working sort of the way it is. And I don't know if you've noticed like the increased positivity and the increased sense of possibility coming, that we've been under lately. But part of that is that all of these planets are direct. Everybody is doing their thing in the most positive and easily functioning way possible. Pluto will be the first planet to go retrograde after all of this directness. And Pluto goes retrograde on the 29th of this month. It's a Friday, and Pluto's retrograde is about 6 months out of every year. So Pluto's like the farthest out planet. I think the next one to go retrograde will be Mercury, which is the closest planet. It's really our most personal planet. But Pluto's really out there, and it has to do with transformation, those deep and total changes that we slowly go through over time as we have experienced our high highs and our low lows, and then we sort of, how do I say, we sort of cook them together into an experience that we can learn from and grow from, right? So it takes a long time to go through those transformations. So, and when Pluto is retrograde, it's more like the transformations are happening on the inside than on the outside. But just FYI, everybody is direct right now. Please take advantage of all that great initiative and forward motion that is literally in the skies and on our plates to be consumed, to be used, to be taken advantage of. All right, that is it for today's astrology. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please like my video, subscribe, and click the notifications bell. I post here every day, and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. And friends, I appreciate it so much when you comment to ask questions or provide encouragement. It isn't just gratifying for me to know that you're listening, but it lets YouTube know that you are engaged in the content, and I appreciate you letting them know it that way as well. Also, if you know anyone for whom this this daily astrology update might resonate, I encourage you to share. Sharing is caring, and we want everybody to be included on the information, right? Now I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about tarot as it relates to astrology today. we'll first discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll do a little quick rundown of today's astrology before throwing a random card that hopefully speaks to today's energies. So let's get into that. The tarot card that sits on the side of the page today is the Four of Wands. Now, yesterday was the first day for the Four of Wands. Four of Wands represents the final 10 days of the sun's transit through Aries, right? The sun has a 30-day transit. It's broken down into 3 parts. This is the final 10 days. So in the final 10 days of the sun's transit through Aries, you can expect a sort of a reckoning, a recall, looking back on how that has gone for you, and sometimes almost a redoubling or an intensification of the effects of sun in Aries. So of course I want to just point that out to you as well. Like, you're going to feel even an increase in that momentum, and an increase in the drive, and an increase in the like spark and fire and inspiration to get things done. Okay, so be aware of that. The Four of Wands itself really speaks to kind of a homecoming, a celebration with our families, our communities, the things that we have achieved. If you put it in context, we had the Two of Wands, which was sort of collecting your resources and turning your plan into something that was into an action, into something that was really happening. And then the Three of Wands was really like noticing the growth and expansion and being alert and aware about it so that it could unfold properly. And now Four of Wands, we've made another achievement. We reached that far ashore, right? We set ourselves a bigger goal, and we made it. So now we get to come home, and we get to be celebrated by the people that we love, and we get to be around our communities, our families, and just enjoy a little bit of downtime, but not quiet time, but really just like have a party with your friends. You can have a party with your friends once you have made your achievements. It's okay to rest and relax and enjoy the good company of those people that know how to celebrate you and why. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and mix up these cards a little while I remind myself that the sun is in Aries, and so is Chiron. Now, Chiron will be in Aries through 2027, has been there since 2018, so this is a very long transit. And Chiron in Aries, Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron in Aries asks us to work on healing or mending or finding solutions about those areas in our life where we are not comfortable expressing ourselves and don't feel like we fit in. In other words, from a different perspective, it's about diversity and inclusion, okay? Everybody should be able to, identify the way they want to identify, express themselves the way they want to express themselves, be called by whatever name they want to be called. I think that is the best way to honor diversity and inclusion, is just to give people what they want in terms of their self-expression, allow people to express themselves without giving them a hard time about it. And, then people can feel more comfortable being part of a group, and they can add something that you didn't know was missing because, you hadn't tried including them before. And I mean this from all sides all the time. Sometimes you're the one on the outside looking in, and sometimes you're the one on the inside with an opportunity to help somebody else feel like they fit in. And then the sun in Aries is really just a time of forward motion, spark, drive. The outside is coming to life. The days have become longer than the nights now. We get a lot more sunlight. It's warming up. The plants are blooming. Even my late bloomers are starting to bloom now. So that's really nice to see. And it's okay to let our own sense of initiative and our actual bodies and our activity begin to increase so that we can thrive our way into the new year. And the waxing gibbous moon, starting in Leo, moving into Virgo, this is our time to be doing the work from, between our plans and the culmination of our goals. So that we have something to celebrate when we get to that full moon on Saturday in Libra. And we have the Mercury aspects over here. It is a time for growth and transformation of our objectives. It's a time to think about where you're planting those ideas. Is the soil rich enough? Because there will be plenty of rain. Jupiter conjunct Neptune is the big news of the day. That's going to be with us for 2 weeks. We're going to be really talking about the creative opportunities that are available and expanding all around us all the time. Sun sextile Saturn is here with us for a week, kind of helping us keep our heads dry. And by that I mean, like we still have things to do. We still have to, earn our keep. We still have to be doing our part out in the world. We still have to maintain those structures and networks that we rely on for support and validation. And that sextile is very cooperative, though. That's just our conscious minds, our focus and our attention in cooperation with our stability, creating sort of a shield against this sort of dreamy downpour that is coming down, that kind of like a deluge might distract us from the objectives that we have. Sun trine moon ongoing, ideal personal alignment. If you've got something to get done, if you've got something to say, if there's something that you need good luck to get done, today's the day. And then on the moon side, there's some conflict at the beginning and the end of the day. So, be aware that, be aware of how and who you are when you face conflict, and also be aware of how and who you would like to be. Moon moves into Virgo today at 7 in the morning, and so for the next 2.5 days, we'll be kind of in natural helper mode, where we just want to mend fences or make things better or help people improve whatever we can help them improve. And then right in the middle of the day, though, we have that ideal functioning for really communicating about what it's like to be me on the inside right now. So if you have if you have a trusted loved one you can talk to, and you need to get some things off your chest, or just want to, it's a good time to be communicating with somebody that you can trust, and really good things might come from it. Okay, and with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card. Knight of Swords. I haven't seen this guy for a while. So the first thing that I always think when I see this card is fools rush in. Let's talk about swords for a second. Swords is about your thoughts, plans, and communications. It's very much Mercury vibration. It's your intellect. It is the things that you say. It's the things you think, say, and do, in terms of what you thought and said. And the Knight of Swords, at first, the Knight of Swords has a good command of their intellect. They have a good command of their thoughts, plans, and communications, and they know how to express what they think. They can sometimes, get what they think confused with how they feel, so they can be rather passionate about something without really even knowing whether they care that much. It's a matter often of just what we think is fair and right. Okay, and the Knight of Swords has some experience with this, and they have great ideas, and they think that they know, and they probably do. But, being right isn't everything. And, sometimes if you come rushing into a situation already knowing what you think, already knowing what you're going to say, then you haven't given the situation time to unfold and inform you, right? So that's where the fool's rush in part comes. There's kind of a warning with this card that says, it's okay to second guess yourself, especially if you're feeling super passionate, super prescient, like I said, you feel like what's going on here, and you feel like exactly what needs to be said about it, right? Maybe walk into a room rather than galloping a horse into the room. Maybe just walk into the room and find out what's happening and what the people around you think before you just go off of what you assume to be the case. That's what the Knight of Swords says to me. So, taken together with the Four of Wands as well, you don't want to be the Knight of Swords rolling into this celebration that you and your family are having together because of your success. You know, you don't want to be coming in there. I mean, it's going to be coming in full of drive and passion, definitely, and drive and passion are there, obviously, in that card. But it's really, you know, not a time to be brandishing the sword at a celebration. Okay, you know, we want to be careful about our sharp wits, our sharp tongues. We want to be careful not to be sort of on a mission to cut down somebody in the middle, somebody that we actually care about in the middle of a celebration, surrounded by people that we all care about. So I think that's kind of the read there. And also, it could just be it could be not us, it could be somebody else who might have a habit of doing this, in terms of our celebration, kind of coming in and having something to say that makes it less of a celebration, or makes it, you know, causes us to have to worry about things that we didn't think we were going to have to worry about while we were just enjoying our time with our families and our friends. I think that's all I have to say about that today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate the heck out of y'all. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today.